guys, Jess Hallock here. Okay, today I have Jasmine, and clearly she has very thick, full hair. She's a perfect example to show you two thick options that are long. When you get a halo and you leave it the full length, it's always gonna taper just a little bit at the ends by the time we add some soft layering. So if you want a really full look on the ends to match if your hair is really full, and or if you have fine hair, you could do this too. But I feel like thick haired gals are the ones that are trying to get extensions to look as full as their natural hair. They just want it longer. So I have two options to show you that are the longest, thickest that we could do. First one, what is this one? Layered? Layered. So this is a 22 inch. This is also a custom color. We do lots of custom coloring, especially for brunettes, because there's not that many options, so that is a plus. But this is a layered 22 and it's cut to a 20. So in general, if you cut something 2 inches shorter, that's where it's gonna be the thickest. And then we restructure with some cutting so that it doesn't look like a big block at the end of the hair, because that looks fake. So here's a good visual. Her hair naturally, what are you, probably like a 16 inch length. Okay, so this should give her a few inches. This is the thicker of the two. It's called the layered, but we can layer either one. But this is the fullest through the middle, and then it usually tapers at the ends. Oh my goodness. It just makes it that much better. If you have fine hair, you totally can do this too. It's just more of a visual for the two different styles that I wanted to show. Oh my gosh. But you see how there's no tapering at the ends now. Now her hair is just super thick from top to bottom and blends out really, really nice. Oh my goodness. Oh, and she still has some hair back here, so it's not all forward. Do you want to turn for me? This is another good option if you have a really blunt cut, so you like to keep up on your trims and keep your ends as full as possible. We're gonna give you something that's probably been trimmed up so that we have a lot to blend out your blunt line. So if we're adding like, I don't know, 2 to 4 inches, this is the route that I would go personally. My hair is similar. I don't have as much as Jasmine, but I still have a good amount. And so I thought that I had to wear a layered most of the time to get that same fullness, but you can actually do it with an original as well. Okay, so that was the layered 22 cut to a 20. And this is one of our exclusive custom colors that we do pretty much all the time. We do all this virtually, by the way. So if you send photos in, we go back and forth which halo would be best for you. Just talk about your hair goals. And then once we pick one, we will customize it in my salon here in Arizona, and then we'll ship it directly to you, all ready to go. So custom coloring, custom cutting, everything. So you don't even have to take it to your stylist. It'll just come ready right out of the box. Even better. So this is the original 20 inch. And this one has been cut to an 18 inch. So personally, I feel like this is an easy everyday wear because of how lightweight it is. The biggest difference between the original and the layered is the thickness. The layered has 30% more hair. You can definitely feel it. It's a lot more weight, but it's more like a glam full. This is if I were to just wanna add a few inches to my hair, but still have it look like a natural thickness, that's when I would wear an original. So personally, I wear an original every day, and then I wear a layered when I'm like wanting to go out or do photos or just have a little bit more. So if you already have a layered or already have an original, then you might want the other one. So this one will only add about 2 inches of length. It still looks super natural and still give her more volume all around. It's not like it's just gonna be at the ends, but it's not structured like the layered where it's super full in the middle. So lots of times when we talk to thick-haired clients, they're like, I don't need more hair, but I just want some more length. Then this is when we'll go with an original. Like, look at that. So notice that shape difference. So the layered, she had a lot of fullness right around her face. It was really va-va-voom right here. The original, you really just notice her natural thickness, and now it's just a little bit longer. Also, visually, a good trick, I guess I should say, is that wherever your hair is the thickest is where your eyes are drawn. So if your hair, just like your hairstylist is like, I want to cut a few inches off your hair, and you're like, no, I'm holding on to these last few. But if they're really sparse, no one really notices how long your hair actually is. They're noticing where it's the most full. So if we cut like 2 inches off your hair and now it looks really blunt, no one's really gonna notice that your hair is shorter, just now they notice a nice full line. So when we're adding extensions, that's best case scenario. If you want your hair to look longer, you wanna make sure it's really full at the ends. If you just wanna add something just super soft, more subtle, then we could leave it the full length and or just taper the ends a little more. Because since we do custom cutting on every single one, I can add more layering depending on what we talk about. Okay, so now I wanna show you the back. So this one is 2 inches shorter than the other one. But her hair, like I said, is really blunt and full on the bottom, and you don't see any breakdown here. Turn to the side, that's always a good tell too. Have you heard of like a shelf? When someone says they have a shelf sitting on top of their hair, it's because their hair is so thick and the extension is so thin that it's hanging off. Whereas this, you cannot tell. It's the same shape on the outside. That is best case scenario. That also gives you the most flexibility with styling it, so you don't have to try so hard to over curl it or anything. It'll just blend right in with how your hair is already cut. Okay, so with the original, keep in mind, we're only adding about 2 inches because her hair is already really thick and full and blunt. If we're going with the original one, because it has 30% less hair than the layered, we can only add a couple inches. And if you have really thick hair, you don't want to be putting too much hair on top if you have a shelf. She still can do that because she has some layering in there that it tapers really nicely. But if you were to still see a shelf and wonder why, one reason could be you're putting too much on top, or maybe you need to texturize just your top layer. And me personally, I'm blonde. I am always trying to grow out my hair and make it healthier. I don't want to add a bunch of layering to my hair. But one thing that's been a good trick that's not making my hair look any less full is if I take just this top layer right here and thin out just the ends just a little bit. Don't totally shatter them, but just thin them out a little, or deep point cut if your stylist can do that. And then it will lay on top of your extensions seamlessly. And that's kind of a rule for any type of extensions, not just a halo personally. But there are the two side by side. So this was the original 20-inch cut to an 18. Just so you know, the original also comes in a 24. We can cut it to a 22 if you have longer hair than this. And then this started as the layered 22-inch cut to a 20 to give it the most fullness and the most hair. So if this is your first time seeing them, go to halobydjess.com. You can inquire. We'll reach out to you directly, get some photos. Like I said, talk about your hair, talk about customizing options, and then we'll do it in my salon and ship them directly to you.